There's some sound. Now we got some sound. Okay. All right. So it's December the 14th, and just reviewing what happened today. Trading day. Oh my goodness. It was it did not go well for me. Started off going really well, and then I gave it all away. I promise you, I gave it all away, and then I just kind of threw in the towel. And again, I'm not a professional trader, but I've been able to identify some of the patterns, some of the pivots, and so I think today what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work on creating a script. I'm just going to work on creating a script just so I can stay in the game, just so I can look at some stuff, analyze some stuff. But I ain't feeling it today, right? So this morning I was up. I think on futures I was up like 1,700. On options I was up maybe $2,000 or something like that. And then on just regular shares, I was up 100, and then I was down to 0, and then I was up like 200. Then I gave it away, and then I gave everything away, which you guys know. So today I was trading the SPY, and you guys know what the SPY did. You were watching, right? You know what the SPY did. It moved up a lot. Well, actually, and so this is the thing. After going back and really looking at it, and I think I've kind of shared with you that, you know, I haven't been doing as much with looking at the left of the screen. I've been just, and I've got to. I think what I need to do, because I think it's really important to look at the left of the screen when you're trading. But when I'm like studying the charts, the moves, the intraday moves, I do not want to look to the left of the screen, because what happens right now. And so any changes that happen right now. They don't happen, you know, yesterday. They happen right now. So I'm trying to focus on what's happening right now, because not all the time, like if you have an area of support, that area of support might hold, it might not, right? But if you're paying attention to what's happening right now, you'll make a decision based on that. So I'm trying to pay attention to what's happening right now. Meanwhile, I'm missing out on the bigger picture of what has happened before, and is likely to provide more significant swing points. So this is what I came up with. Hang on, let me get TradingView together, and I'll show you what I came up with for just kind of like my post-trade analysis. You know, hindsight is 2020. Yes, I agree. But if you don't go back and actually at least exercise some of that hindsight, you know, then you're missing the lesson. And as defeated as I was determined not to miss the lesson. So let me go and grab the let's go grab TradingView. All right, so we got TradingView here. Alert, yep, sure. 5-minute time frame. I keep forgetting how good TradingView is for doing chart analysis and stuff. It's awesome. All right, so one of the things that, I mean, it really is awesome. All right, so one of the things I noticed that I did wrong was I got in here first part of the day, right? And like I said, I'm trading the day. I'm not so much trading what happened pre-market. Okay, so I'm making my trades, trying to get in at the bottoms, get out at the tops, yada yada. And then it started getting real sketchy through here. There's a lot more volatility through here. But let's see, I don't have shortcuts for these I don't think the trend lines have shortcuts. I think the horizontal lines have shortcuts. Let's see, Alt T, maybe? Oh, maybe. Okay. Alt T. All right, so I think the trend lines have shortcuts. So we go there, and then we go something like that. So we're in that descending channel. Of course, you don't know that when you just open the chart up, right? Okay, so we're doing something like that, going down, moving to that prior level of support, which is also the open of the day. But let's see. I wish I could change the shortcut keys. I don't know what the shortcut is for, or the hotkey is for horizontal line. Is it L? Nope. All right, let's see. Settings. I saw it under settings. Here, keyboard shortcuts. Indicators and drawings. Can I change these? Doesn't look like it. Wish I could change these. All right, so the horizontal line is Alt H, and the trend line is Alt T. Yeah, I really wish I could change them to what they are on TradeStation. Alt H, horizontal. Okay, makes sense. Oh, it makes a horizontal line wherever my cursor is. All right. Get rid of those. All right, well, that one was just about where I wanted it. Okay, so cursor here in this area here at the top of this consolidation, this kind of horizontal, or I guess it's like an ascending channel. All right, so we're going to do a horizontal line there. And then at the bottom from here to here to here to here, I'm gonna do one there. So now that we're looking at the chart, it's like, all right, so the price, so the market opened, it moved up. You don't necessarily have to take that. You don't have to take it, but it went up to as high, just about as high as here. We would expect that, right? Because that's the height of the pre-market. So we would expect that it's going to at least go and try to approach some of that. It didn't fully take it over, which I think is important to note, because now you have the potential for a high and a lower high, right? We don't have an easy extend right on this thing. That doesn't look right. I feel like you should easily be able to extend it right without doing that. Stat, position, template, save as, extend right. Why do I feel like I already have that as a template? All right, so extend right. Okay, so again, so now we have a lower high, and not only that, but it came up, nice bullish candle, and then it kind of stalled here, and then it dropped down. So that's going to be one of our points. And again, it's a rule, guys. It's a rule. When the chart moves up, you're hard pressed to get in on the move up. You really need to take that pullback, and that way you get in at a better location. But the pullback has to not just pull back to any range. It also has to have some type of confirmation, some type of inside candle, some type of doji, some type of halt, increased volume, something. We don't see any of that here. We don't see any of that on this candle. This candle, it kind of does retrace up a bit. So you're like, all right, well, is it going to make a higher low? Right? So you still have to wait though. And not only that, but that would be a retest of the bottom. That would be a high retest because that went way up and came back down. But that would be a retest of the bottom. That's not necessarily indicating a bullish trend. Also, the simple fact that this did not go higher. So one, it's weaker because it expended a lot of energy moving all the way up to come all the way back down. Two, it made a lower high. And three, we still don't have time on our side. We don't have a bunch of candles to support the fact that it's rested here. It's ready to go. All right, so let's move over. All right, so it looks like it did hold, right? So it held, but it dipped down a little bit more. We got this bottom wick here. Volume is not too much different. Nothing really going on there. But this bottom wick did come down. It touched the top of this consolidation zone and the bottom of this wick in this area here. So that might be a good hold for the bottom, right? For the bottom. But again, we don't have a higher high, so we can't say that it's bullish just yet. You might get in here, set your stop loss here, but I wouldn't expect to go higher than this range up here. Okay, moved up. That's a good area to get out. Ooh, it went through it. I'm looking at this like this is the first time I saw this. But you know, nevertheless, that's good too. Okay, so it went through it. Now we have that high volume though, which we expect high volume when the candle moves to a new high. We're going to expect high volume because it has to break out. It has to have that breakout volume. It has to absorb some short sellers, some people taking profit. Ooh, doji candle. Okay, and that retest there, it did not retest this line, which is typically what you expect. The next potential place to retest will be this area here. Okay, and it actually came right down to it. Ooh, but it dropped below it. Okay, so here we would have needed to see a doji candle, an inside candle, some type of increased volume to support that it slowed down and has absorbed any potential sellers that we're going to pick back up right here. Well, the sellers weren't absorbed here. They took over and they flushed it down, but we got a new high. So that's, I guess, a good thing for longs. All right. It's going down, down, down. So that would have been your next level is here. If it were to be bullish, typically you're going to see it hold right in here. Not at the bottom, but right in here. And actually it looks like that's what that did. Okay, so it held. All right, so now one might expect that since we put in a new high, now we're going to put in another new high, and we may follow that trend there, that upper line. But it wicked out at the pre-market high, or this line here. So the bulls were faked out. So the bulls moved up here. The bears took over from this level, and now the bulls came back in here, and then even more bulls decided to come in here because it's above the breakout level here. More bulls came in here, and then they lost their positions through here. So now more shorts, more bears have more shares. Okay, so this is looking better for the bears, especially considering that this wicked down. So now this is looking like a bear territory. And the bears have it. Okay. Support back at that bottom. But remember, we determined that the bears likely have it based on this wick, this sentiment, this aggression, and based on the fact that bears took over the breakout. They took over the breakout. They already had the upper hand coming into the market. They took over the breakout, and then they again took over another breakout. Because this, you could consider this, depending on what time frame, whatnot you're looking at, you could consider this to be a wick. You could consider that to be a wick. Now those wicks are both happening over this high zone here, right? So this is taking a lot of bulls positions. Okay, so that's why I say the bears are leading this race. And then they move it down, at least below this level, below that that range. So when price comes back up, well, first of all, it came down to the bottom of that consolidation range, but then when it comes back up, it comes just to within that range there. I guess we need to widen this, right? So it captures those bodies, these bodies. Okay. And then, okay, great. All right, but that's the trouble that I get into when I trade. I'll say blindly. When you trade blindly without looking at what happened, pre-market, is that you end up not realizing that this area here is so dangerous. And why it's dangerous. So here you'd end up wanting to take a long or take a continuation trade and not realize that this is still bearish territory. And that, my friends, is where technical analysis comes in. Okay, so went up, tapped it, sold off, went up, tapped it again, sold off. Now we're back down to this next level down here. And we identified those from the pre-market, all right? So it's nothing special. Touched in this zone, move back. Oh yeah. So touched in this zone, and now it moved up and through that bearish market again. Wow, that's significant, huh? Look at that. Look at that. Amazes even me. So this zone in here was hot stuff. This zone in here became support, and then it was broken through and broke through with vigor right here. And typically you see higher volume when it breaks down through there, but broke down with vigor, hit the next level, resistance, broke down with a little bit of vigor. And this next level or zone, well, I guess the same one here. Do R for rectangle? No, didn't like that. Making up my own hotkeys. That through there, okay. And so from there it moved up. Instead of selling off that time, it did push above it to that prior high. And this was the area where the shorts took over in the first place. Remember that? Man, that's what I say, man. Technical analysis is crazy. And you look at the chart and you just wonder how in the world it looks the way it looks. Well, this is why. And then the other piece of that though, like what I find myself doing intraday trading is I'm actually trading all this. See, these are the significant points which I don't say you should be able to identify, but with some patience and discipline, you might be able to identify. But buy that, sell that, sell that, buy that, right? What I find myself doing is getting in here, and on a 15-second candle, I'm trying to buy this, or I'm trying to sell this on a 15-second candle, or on a 5-tick chart. And I'm finding myself getting into a little bit more trouble on days where there's like more volatility, more wiki sideways movement there. So, but now why did this break through? Because bears were in control here. They found a level of support. Bought up, sold hard. Double bottom, bought up, sold, hard. Another hesitation on the bottom. Partial move up, retrace, rejection, move up. I will say that this movement here looks fairly peculiar. This zone in here, it looks different than the other zones. I'm just making that much darker. It's looking bad now. But yeah, I'll say that zone there looks awfully fishy. So I'll have to study that a little bit more and see what I can come up with there. And also, this area in here looks fairly tight. This looks tight. This looks tight. And I saw that also earlier on. I think it was futures. MES. Futures. Was that this morning that I saw that? But I saw that exact kind of accumulation zone. Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, I mean, it looks similar, right? So at the bottom, and I think this is where I traded futures, made a little bit of scrap. Yeah, so the chart moved up and moved down and had that same kind of accumulation consolidation zone at the bottom. And then from there, it just moved on up. It's kind of a tight, narrow range. I mean, a really tight, controlled range sideways movement. So I'll have to compare. Let me get out my tablet. I want to compare these later. Screenshot this, and I'll compare that with the S&P 5 or the SPY to this range at the bottom, because they look fairly similar. I mean, this is pretty tight too, right? Whereas this looks a little looser. This down in here, the majority of these look fairly tight. So I'll screenshot this, and also this area in here looks fairly tight too. I mean, you can't really deny that. Okay. All right, so moving on along. So from here, we got a potential move up, retest, nice rejection. That rejection, I think, was probably significant. And then another accumulation zone through this, what was resistance, turned support, and then moved up, retraced at that supply zone at the top. All right, so now we have a huge sell-off because again, this area here was the top of pre-market. This area here was the high of the day, lower high of the day. This is our next high, but it stalled 1, 2, 3, Tanamera. Okay? 3 times. Stalled 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And would you know on whose paper account was holding a bunch of shares right here, waiting for the breakout? Waiting for the breakout. And now just looking at it, I mean, maybe it works some other times. And I promise you, I was sitting here holding. I was up for the day. I was sitting here holding. Even as it came down. I had really doubled my count, what I was hoping or planning to get for the day. I had doubled it. And then as it started sinking down, it just goes down and down. I think my stop loss, I should have got out here or so. I think I was averaged in here, and I should have got out here, and I didn't. I held it, and like I said, it just continued to sink and sink and sank and sink. And but again, look at all this strong selling pressure. This wick took the buyer's selling pressure. This wick, selling pressure. There's a lot of selling pressure here. Now, if it did get over it, I don't know what it would have to look like once it got over it. But if it did get over it, I mean, it'd probably have to do something like, oh, well, that's going to be funky if I do that. I think I can draw with this thing. Yeah. Okay. I don't know where it is. Polys. Sunline. This. This. No. Okay. All right. Don't have a clue. Paint. There we go. But what? Oh, there it is right there. Okay. I completely skipped over that. I went on every other one and skipped over that. So I would imagine I have to come up here. Take out these highs here even because the most of the bearish energy is here. Like I said, this is a wick, but it's still pushed down and here. Right? So it would still need to take out the high to indicate that we're doing new highs. We're doing the new high thing. And then come back and then set. And then do a little rest. And then move up. But it didn't do any of that. It just stayed right below this area here. Because the chart always knows. You think you know. No. Nay. Chart always knows. Okay. All right. So really, that's all the technical analysis I need to do. That's all I need to know. All I need to know is the fact that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to through this whole range, so the rest of it is going to be garbage. Chart moved down. Where is it going? It dropped below this. This is all that we marked up from the pre-market. So this is all that really happened during the pre-market. We know that the chart really shot up at the end of the day. So where is it going right here? Who knows? Let's put a line right here and then zoom out and then see where that goes. Okay, so that went to the um, I guess that confirmation to the rest, the continuation zone of that last push of yesterday. Plus, yeah. Oh, didn't mean to drag that. Yeah, so that was the start of that last push of the day. So this is where bulls came in at. And if that's the takeaway from the night, and the takeaway from the night is where strong movements happen is often, even when the chart retraces, is often where you'll find moves revisit. And everything in between is just a shot in the dark. That's my takeaway. All right. But also very important, the stock moved from here all the way to here overnight. So why would we not think that when regular money gets back in the market, forget about these after hours? This is after hours. This is after hours. Stock moved up when the market closed yesterday at 4 o'clock. Market opened today at 9:30. It's all the way up here. All these people are like, yeah, we made a lot of money. Time to cash in on that money. And so as people take their profit, and these are probably sellers. They could also be short sellers for sure, but a lot of these are probably just people selling, just taking profit. They're like, it's stalling. Let's just take our profit, which is what I should have done also. I'm a bit naive, but yeah. So, and then for whatever reason, there was just a huge flush here. And it came down and huge flush. But in the meantime, during this area, what happened? If we go back over to the left-hand side of the screen, as we go down, there's nothing that happened. I mean, even in the pre-market, it was just a straight move up. And it was a straight move up with little pullbacks, little disagreement. It's just kind of straight up. Bulls just took over. Bears are like, ha, don't worry about it. We'll get you later. And they did, right? The Bears stayed out of it right here. They're like, yeah, the higher that you go, the harder you'll fall. So don't worry about it. And so when it got down to here, and most of all these bulls are already kind of taking their profit and scared anyway, then the Bears are like, yep, game time. And then they sold it off very quickly, all the way back down to where? To the very last time that bulls were significantly in play, right? Get out of there. So the last time that bulls made their move. So bulls last made their move here. That was the last move, significant move they made was here. And it also came after some significant bearish movement, right? So a couple people sold their position right here. Couple people sold their position. And then a couple of bulls were like, yep, we'll take that. We'll take that position. Appreciate it. So now you've got a strong cluster of bullish activity that's starting here. And those bulls probably have enough money or backing or common sense to cover themselves and to push it back up when the stock gets here again. And that's what they did. And they pushed it up just enough till it got right back into this zone. What's significant about that zone? Well, this touched just the bottom of what? This touched the bottom of that well, it was demand. So now it's resistance. It was demand. And so at that point where bulls kind of started an effort from here, well, anybody who potentially wants to short, they better not take the chart much above this range, because bulls are going to take back over again. So once we get over that line significantly and hold, then we're going to have another run up. And where's it going to run to? It's probably going to run right to here, because that's where the bears really kind of did their thing. That as far as the chart goes, I think so. Yeah, it's not quite done for the night, but it's about there. All right, so man, this was a good review for me. I sat here at the chart and traded for from about 7 o'clock to about 1 o'clock, and got up a time or two. So for me to do a review for 40 minutes that really sums things up and drives things home and makes it make sense, Lord, make it make sense. Yeah, 40 minutes well spent. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is let's do this. Clearing this. I am declaring this bulls. Declaring this is gonna be orange, because it's not that bulls took over from here. Maybe that's a good way for me to do it, because it's not that bulls took over from this spot, because they really didn't. Bulls did not take from this spot and run. You might consider it a little bit bluish right here, just because there was a strong movement up from there, but we don't know if that's going to hold, because that was first of the morning, and we really don't have anything to compare it to. Okay, and then I'm going to call this is going to be red. This is where the bears take over. Okay, and then we're gonna make this a zone. I need 3 of them. This will be blue. Be yeah. Let me do a copy, paste. Okay, so these are 3 significant areas where bulls boom took over, and boom took over. All right, this could be a bearish one. There was a pretty strong bearish movement down. Now, why that's not as significant, don't know. I don't think that it's not that significant. I think that it's just that it was annihilated in pre-market, and then when it came back down, well, actually, it is significant. How about that? How did we miss that? Did we miss talking about that? It is significant, right? Because this area right here, this is the bearish area, and then what happened? So during pre-market, it annihilated that, but pre-market is the Wild Wild West, so we don't really give it a lot of weight. But I have to give it more weight, because you see how much we're able to tell from the pre-market just from the, for the first couple hours of trading. But anyway, as the market came down through here, it kind of trended sideways, kind of going down, trickled down. And then once it hit this zone where we said bears were significantly able to push, they what? Pushed. Okay, so they did. They pushed through here, and then it just so happened to catch the first zone of the bulls, and it moved up. So, but then you also can't be surprised if the chart all of a sudden does something like, well, this is a bullish zone here, so it could come up and bounce and go up, and then once it gets through that, bounce, whatever, or it could come up here and then bounce on that bearish zone, and then drop down, and then drop down to that next bullish zone, and then drop down. But I imagine by then, that many bullish zones, it'll get enough strength to continue on. But anyway, this has been fun. This has been fun. This is the story that I've always told myself, that if I spend more time working on this story, that I will become a great trader. And I hear different people talking about stories, and you do stories, you just do technical analysis. What do you do? The stories don't really help you. But for me, it does. For me, it paints a picture, and I can be very granular, but at the same time, I like to tie things together. I like to tie one thing to the next. And when I do that, then that's always how I've learned anyway. So if I can create the whole picture, and then when I get up in the morning and I look at this chart, instead of just trading this, if I say, but what was the backstory? Well, I mean, I see what's going on now, but what was the backstory? Now, if I go, oh, well, that's the backstory, then, I mean, it's right there. We just told the story. So, anyway, I like it. I'm gonna get this one out of here because it's extra. And then I'm gonna take a break for a second, and then I'll probably come back and do a little bit of coding. So I'll be back. All right, we're back. I thought I had a shortcut on here to get through the microphone. Unmute. Oh. Think that'll work. Let's see. Yeah, it works. All right, so let's get this out of here. We're gonna go back to trade station, and then we're just gonna pick something on the spy and see if we can. Well, and you know, at one time I was looking at the bid and ask, the sizes, just for your reference. I didn't see anything significant for the bid and ask sizes that would indicate that that there was an impending move up. But you do recall, I didn't notice this. Well, I was looking on the 15-second chart and I didn't notice this. But on the tick chart, you can see it. Where is it at? You know those things that we talk about at the end of the day? These things right here, I don't know what that's called, but it often results in some type of movement. And we definitely have that here, where the chart goes bananas up and down. I guess is large market makers dumping shares or something. I don't know. Cluster of volume. The bid and ask goes flatline for a while. I don't know. It's like yeah, like when somebody's sleeping at night and they have like sleep apnea or something. They and then they start going again. Just kind of that pause, right? So it was going down, and then all of a sudden you get this pause, and then it just starts going up, right? So if that was consistent, then I'd say, man, take that and make some money. Let's see. I'm gonna open up the spy on the other time frame. Global position this. Now, if I global position that on this other time frame, it's right here. It's right in this area. It's just before, it's during this range, and then it shoots straight up. Now, if you recall, wow, I mean, right? Look at this area right here. This is what we identified on TradingView, that sideways consolidation, right? On TradingView, we got that sideways consolidation. It's very tight. That range is very tight. We got that, and then from there, the stock moved up. I wouldn't say that it would always move up. I'm just saying that it moved up. And then also, we see that very tight consolidation right through here as well. All right, very tight, and we get that. Whatever it was, gotta find out what that's called, but we get that. From there, chart moves up. Yeah, right there. Okay. All right, let's I'm just scrolling through to see if that shows up anywhere else or anything very peculiar. What happened there? There's some barcoding right there. And we got flatline just with it, just after it. There we go. Okay. All right. Make sure I got audio. All right. So let's click that and then see what happened on the other screen. Okay, so on the other screen, that is around this zone here. So that's not really significant for anything. And it may be, it's just that I don't know what it is, right? It may be that it's approaching this area, that it's in this zone, and that barcoding is important for something. Okay, so let's keep walking through. That was us reapproaching that bearish zone. We just left the bearish zone. So now we're going all the way, working our way down the chart. Oh, there's another one. Okay, now this one, and we have high bids. This one did happen. All right, so identified that happened right here. Okay. So what's significant there? Maybe nothing yet. Maybe it's just to throw us off. There's another one right there. Flat line. That is just before the bullish move up. So that's right here, just before this bullish move up. Okay, check that one out. We have one at the very top. I think, is that the top of the move? Top of the move for the... Yeah. Where's that one at? This one is right here. It is at the top of a move, but it's not at the like the external structure. The like I would call this more like external structure, like about at a pivot point. This is kind of like the internal structure. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it did make a coming through here or coming through here or coming through here, so maybe this is like a higher point than this. So those are like your highs, I guess. Lower high, higher. Okay. I mean, stuff happens for a reason. It doesn't like just happen. Well, that's weird. This huge wick up right here. Look at that wick up. Huge wick up right there in the middle of nowhere. That is right here? Huh. Is that right there? Okay. Because the chart's moving down, I think here we found we reapproached that. I think this was a zone from pre-market. We reapproached that. Let's go to 24 hour. 24 hour. Huh. 24 hours. Regular session. 24 hours. All right. Play those reindeer games, huh? All right. Let me get back to that. That was right in here. So let's go back here. I lost it. Yeah, right here. I mean, like I've been looking at these 15 tick charts for, you know, a lot of the day. I mean, we've done it together. We've scanned through it. I don't know how closely you guys are looking, but I've looked fairly closely at anomalies, and this is a huge anomaly. This high wick right here. And it's crazy. Not a lot of volume, not a crazy amount of bid or ask, but it thing dropped down and it's a huge high wick. Now that's this is on the 15 tick chart, so this is not time. These are ticks. These are transactions. So I think I have it set up as transactions, not volume. Yeah, these are transactions. So if we were to draw a line, we could see how much time transpires from here, from the bottom, all the way to the top. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll take extend right off. We'll go to label and we'll hit show label. But Eric, you say the label is not showing. So what are you talking about? Okay, we're gonna do time span. That time span took 2 minutes to transpire. It took 2 minutes to make that huge drop. Where did it start from? It started from 11, 12, 20. I'm looking to see where the drop started from here. Man, so this was that whole drop, right? That whole drop took 2 minutes, 1 bar, 2 bar, you know. And then after that 2 minutes, we got that huge wick up at the bottom. Remember, we got that huge wick up at the bottom. And then it took 2 minutes to drop down that far. And then like this thing goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it goes like another 15 bars or so, just holding that level. So I think that's worth noting. So I'm pretty sure that I will keep the tick chart open, or at least review the tick chart when we have huge drops like that to see what happened. And this is what I was telling you guys yesterday. As you see this huge volume show up here, right at the top, this huge volume, I found that huge volume often shows up when the chart is about to reverse, right? But I found myself trying to trade using that criteria today, and it got me caught up in a lot of places. Like here, so you have this high volume here. Here it would, so this probably would have been a buy, right? Because it moved up, it retraced down, moved up, shot down, and then now we have this huge volume right here. So for me, it would have been a buy, and I bought it, and then it tanked. So it worked yesterday for a lot of the moves, but today it didn't work. So, and even like this, you come up high volume, you would say, okay, well now it's time to short. It's time to sell. This is the end of the move, high volume. But so it didn't work as well today. Not sure exactly what charts it works better for, what days, what kind of moves, gap up, gap down, trending. So yeah, but this right here though, I think this is pretty significant on the 15 tick chart. Plus it was after a huge sell-off. And again, I don't know how come I can't get into my, how come this won't run 24-hour? But I know what I can do. Shift S takes us to properties, regular session. We're gonna go to 24-hour. We can do it that way. Okay, maybe I just had to click on the data stream. All right, so that bar that I drew across there, that was the support here. That bar, it goes through and it's the bottom of this wick, right? It's the bottom of this wick. It's the bottom of this consolidation zone. So yes, that level was significant. It was significant through the pre-market hours. But again, if you weren't using the pre-market hours, if you weren't looking at pre-market, then you wouldn't notice that. And so let me go to regular session, but it's not letting me click 24-hour. It's weird. Maybe I have to click the data set and then 24-hour. I don't know what it is. Okay. All right. Well, all right, let's finish just going through the 15 tick chart and see if we can identify any other anomalies like that barcoding or significant spikes. There's another barcoding. This isn't at the top or bottom, and it also barcoded here. We just want to call it barcoding. All right, and we do have a little potential move here, but that kind of what do you call that, like a grave digger doji right here, sticks up. But I mean, it continues to drop, so I'm just saying the general idea of it. Okay, we're back to 10 o'clock. Nice bottom rejection there. from the bottom rejection. So we have the high bids, and we have that bottom rejection, and it's at a level, right? At a potential support level. I think that's important. Okay, like I said, I think that bar coding is probably not as significant as I'd like for it to be, but it does show up. So, or maybe the proof is somewhere else. Maybe the proof is in, are these bids or asks that come through? You know, but like I said, everything happens for a reason, so just gotta figure it out. All right. I won't bore you with any other details, but this was a good post-trade day analysis for SPY. I didn't even look at the options. I didn't look at futures, but you know, everything's following the SPY as far as this goes, or the SPY is following those options, and the futures are, you know, following the same thing. So this is the underlying asset. All right, guys, I hope you had fun. Peace, and I will see you next time. I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.